What's up, guys? I want to make a video about something I do that I think could help lots of other coaches. As we've been watching football this year and over the past couple of years, actually, there's been a trend of people trying to make their offense more and more simple. There are lots of teams that have simplified their playbooks or shortened it up and seen success with doing that. And I think sometimes coaches get a little bit carried away with making it simple, or at least what making an offense simple should mean. To me, what making an offense simple is making something that's very complex, getting 11 dudes to do different things to work out in one, end goal, and making it seem very easy for each of those 11 guys. The hard part should not be on the athlete, is another part of what it means to me. The hard part should be on the coach. So as offensive football coaches, we should be putting together plans that are very complex and are very hard to work with one another, but making each guy on the field have a very simple rule or simple set of rules for each concept in a way that all works together. So that's what we do year round. We don't just coach during the football season. It's what we do in the off season, is refining those rules so that they work well with one another. And then this guy only has one or two things to think about. This guy has 3 or 4 things to think about. And instead of thinking of 10 different things, each of them have a couple different things that they are thinking about in a given concept. But no matter what choice they make, they work together in the grand scheme of it. So this video is going to be taking that mindset towards formations and giving guys very few things to think about, but changing only a couple, what seems like only a couple formations for us, into many different alignments for a defense to deal with. This video isn't going to talk much about how I design concepts to work within all these different formations or different alignments. However, that is another big part of being an offensive coach, is having concepts that work not just from specific alignments, but can work and be variable to different ways of lining up on the football. So the way that I am going to call most of my formations is it's going to be 2 words. And some people will do this and they'll have a right and a left variation of something where they just flip it one way or another, or they'll just have it, I know the air raid guys have their thing where usually 2 of their receivers are always to the right or 2 are always to the left. This is going to go based off of a paired associates type mindset, and it's something that I got from my OC at Citrus College right now, Bob Moran. It's a really smart way to expand your alignments without expanding how much the players have to learn. So it's just 2 words, and we're going to turn our formation dual into 5 different formations or 5 different alignments real quick. Base rules for the X, he's always going to start opposite the formation strength. We're going to determine the strength of our offensive formation by where the Y is, even if we've got 3 receivers to the left and a running back to the left as well. If the Y is to the right, we're going to say the strength of our formation is to the right. So the X is always lining up on the football away from the Y. Easy. The F is going to listen to the first word, and that's going to pertain to him, and we'll break that down in a second. The Y is going to listen to the second word, and the Z is always lining up to the Y and usually off the ball. We're going to start with the alignment rules for the X and the Z receivers. The X is going to be lined up away from the strength of the formation. He's always going to be on the ball. We're going to determine the strength by wherever the Y goes. The Z is 90% of the time going to be lined up to the strength of the formation, and he's going to be lined up off the ball. We carry one set of formations that move him away from the strength, but his base rules, for the most part, he's going to be to the strength. Now we're going to get to the F. The F is going to listen to the first word of this formation. So dual. What does dual tell him? The D in dual is going to tell him he's lined up away from the strength. So our strength is to the right, so D tells him he's going to the left side of the formation. The A in dual is going to tell him he's lined up away from the line of scrimmage. This also, whenever we go to trips formation, is going to tell him he's away from the Y, so he's outside the Y receiver. There's no Y receiver to this side, so he's just away from the line of scrimmage, and he's going to split, try to lower a little bit, he's going to split the difference and divide between the X and the line of scrimmage. In this case, he's going to be off the ball because the X is always on. So D tells him away from the Y, A tells him he's away from the line of scrimmage, or away from the tackle in this case. So now our Y, our strength of our formation, is going to listen to the second word. So these are all L and R words. L meaning left, obviously, and R meaning right. Our first one is going to be left and right. So left and right tell the Y that he is an inline tight end to that side. So if we go dual left, he'll line up on the left. If we go dual right, he'll line up on the right. And both of those, he's an inline on the ball tight end. Now here's where we can start changing our alignments with only changing this Y's rules. If we instead call dual rent, they're going to tell the Y, now you're a tight end for rent. We're renting you. You're off the ball. So because we moved him off, Z's got to move on. Our rules is the next receiver has to move on. So like if we had an F over here, the F would move on. But we're in dual, so the F is away. So now the Z is going to move on up. And rent, that tells the Y he's moving off the ball. So now we've presented a different alignment to the defense, but we still have the same formation. Dual tells the X he's away, tells the Z he's 2, tells the F he's away, tells him he's away from the line of scrimmage as well. Rent tells the Y that he's going to be backed up off the ball. So we go rent and lease. You're a tight end for rent. We're just renting you. Next, we're going to go rip. The I is going to move the Y inside. Now we're still in our dual formation, but the rip tag, we go rip and Liz, has moved the Y inside to a sniffer alignment. Another one we got, we're going to go rod, O, he's being lined up split. So if we want to go dual rod, dual Lou, that's going to put us just in a basic 2x2 spread formation. Last one that we carry is going to be Rocky and Lucky. CK formations, or tags for us, always mean that we are stacked. So this tells the Y he's going to go stack in front of the nearest receiver. So if the F were over here, like I was saying before, F would be divide splitting. We're going to Rocky, we're going to stack the Y up in front of the F. Dual Rocky means there's no F, nearest receiver is a Z. Y will stack up in front of the Z. So that's the gist of our Y tags. And those 5 tags are how we've just changed our dual formation into 5 different alignments for the defense. Difficult part is designing concepts, especially in the passing game, to work well with all those different alignments. However, good coaches will get it done, and it's what separates the good from great. Next, we're going to move into another one of our 2x2 formations. This is going to be dime. So the X's rules are still the same. Away from the strength, on the ball. Z's rules are still the same. To the strength, usually off the ball. Our F, the D tells him he's away. The I is going to tell him he is back into the line of scrimmage. He's going to be in an off-ball tight end position, in a wing. And then the right tells our Y, same thing. Inline tight end to the right, right or left. We still got to go into a flex gun look. We can go dime rent, move him off. Now we're in a double wing. Got all our same stuff. Go rip, move him inside to a sniffer. We got rod. Now the F will be our wing, and the Y gets to move out into space. Got Rocky. Y is going to go stack up in front of the nearest receiver. It's going to be the Z in this case. The F is going to fill in as the wing on our offensive front. So that's another one of our 2x2 looks, and we carry different words that the letters mean something to the F to position him, and then we have the same 5 tags that we have for the Y to position them. Last 2 formations we're going to look at are going to be some of our trips formations. So we got Trey, the T for the F, that word has changed, no longer a D. So the D told him he's going away from the strength. The T is going to tell him he's going to the strength. So wherever we called right in this case, he is going to the right. He's going to be to the Y. The A is going to tell him that he is away from the line of scrimmage. He's outside the Y. In this case, he will be. He'll be split outside the Y. And we got, again, the same 5 formation tags. So we got for the Y, we got right, inline. I'm not going to type it up this time, but we got rent, move the next receiver onto the ball. We got rip, put him inside. We got rod, split him out. And then we got Rocky, move stacked in front of the next closest receiver. In this case, it'll be the F, not the Z. And now this last one, another trips formation, it's just going to change the Z and F receiver. So we got toy right, and now we're moving. The O is going to tell the F that he is outside, so he's the most outside receiver. Instead of being in here, he's going to move outside the Y. Right, we still got the Y with the same exact tags. So this lets us put different playmakers in different spots. So we can still tag this toy rent, toy rip, toy rod, toy Rocky, and all those are still going to work to give us different 3x1 looks to the defense. While at the same time, our Y, he's only got 5 different formations to understand, to the right and to the left. Our Z, he's just running out there every time, and he sees the F coming, he's like, you know, it's toy, he's going outside. This F, what we've done is we provided 4 different formations for him to understand, but we've turned this, combining the F and the Y rules, into 20 different alignments for the defense to try and handle. So not very different for us, but they're a pain in the ass for the defense to keep track of. The last thing that I'm going to talk about that some people may be wondering is for the running back alignments. I keep the running back in a pistol because I'm a pistol guy. So if there's no tag, he's going to line up in the pistol, and the quarterback's going to know if there's no tag, line up in the gun. If we go on, so if we go inside zone, or let's go power to the right, and we go on, that's going to tell him he's lined up to the side of the play. So if we go inside zone right, play side's right, he'll line up sidecar to the right. And if we go off, he'll line up opposite. So if we're going inside zone right, off, he'll line up to the left. And we just tell him line up inside of the tackle or in the B gap.